let's start with opening our file. So I'm going to the file menu and I will open one of the sample files, and let's go to RAC Advanced Sample Project. This is one of the sample files that are available with Revit, and once you open it, you'll see this 3D image taken by camera. Okay. So inside this model, you can see that we already have a almost complete model, and that model has the architecture, and there are other versions as well of MAP, the mechanical side of that model, and also the structure and electrical models are there. You can combine all of them to test coordination. We do that in a separate course, but for now we're going to discuss how to present your work if you have a model like this. So starting from the plan view, if you want to create a different angle or a different camera for that building. I'm sorry, do you have a question? Okay, thank you. So now I have in plan view, I'm going to create a camera view. This is the entrance of the building, so I'd like a shot that starts from this corner towards the building. Now the first thing that you see, you can see that something is obstructing the view. I cannot actually understand what is this. If you select it, you'll see that this is a topography, and that topography is hiding my building. I could either move my camera towards the building, closer to the building, or increase the height of my camera. At the left side, you'll see the properties for that camera, the 3D view. It shows the properties of that camera. Usually I like to place the project browser on one side and the properties on the other side. Now I can see more options. At the left side, I'm going to change the eye elevation. Instead of 1.7 meters, I'm going to increase it to 20 meters.
Sorry, Mostafa, can you just show me where the camera button is again quickly?
Yes, sure. So, I'm sorry? Okay, that's not a question. So in site view or in entry level, any of the levels, you can create a camera from this icon. Camera.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Yes.
You're welcome. Or from view, you can click 3D view camera. Now once I've created a camera, you've seen in my camera, it was below the required level. So what we did is change the eye elevation. You could also change that from navigation tools. So if I undo that change, now my camera is back to the wrong position. I'm going to select the full navigation wheel, and I'm going to use the up and down option. Now I can drag that icon, and I'm moving up to change my height to the correct height. I could also use the look around tool. If I press look, it will change the target of my camera, so I can look around freely to see what's going on around my camera. And if I need to walk towards the building, I could use the walk tool. But this is not actually a walking tool that works with gravity. You see some of the options in Revit are not the same that we expect exactly. So walk tool, for example, it does not pull you down to the ground. It has no gravity option. This option is available in Inkscape, for example. So using Inkscape is one of the features that you might consider afterwards. Now going back to my building, I'll change the angle again, adjust it, and I believe this works better. I can also expand this frame, which in return expands my field of view for my camera. Now, if I want to present this building in a better way, I might think of hidden line. Maybe is not the best option, so I can change the visual style to shaded. This indicates solid color for our elements. Or I could switch to realistic if I want to show the materials itself. I can also turn the shadow on and off. Yes.
If I want to move where I placed the camera, not the angular of the camera, but the camera, the first click, how am I supposed to do that?
Okay, well, there are a couple of options. One option is to go back to the full navigation wheel and use the orbit tool, and you're orbiting. But if you need to see exactly where it is placed in plan, the other option would be to go back to entry level, and the camera I've just created
in my camera properties, or in my design, or in my plans, in my plans.
In plan, if you want to see it in plan, this is the option I will show you right now.
Okay.
So if you're in plan view, let's say site view, and I need to see where is that camera that I placed, where is it? I'll go back to 3D views. You can see at the right side of my screen, project browser. I'll scroll down to 3D view 1, which is my camera that I've just created. Right click and click show camera. Now I can see the camera again, and I can drag it to wherever location I prefer.
Okay.
Agreed? Okay,
yes, because
perfect.
when I was trying to do it, when I was orbiting my view, I was again behind the terrain.
Yeah,
so
I see.
I couldn't see the building.
I see.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's say I like this angle. I need to present it in a better way. One way is to change to shaded and then show the shadows. So I put shadows on. And if we need more options, you can click the visual style and click graphic display options. Here we have much more control over the graphic style or the graphic display options. This is the first option that we've selected, shaded, and we have show edges on. If I want to add a background to my camera, I'll scroll down to background, change it to sky, click apply, and now we have a sky. Well, I don't actually like the sky colors in Revit that much. I'm not a fan of it because it looks too dark, and I'd rather change it to gradient. Now I have more control over the colors of sky. I can change it to whatever shade I like. Even this horizon color, I can change it to something orange, like this, pale orange. Click apply, and I believe this looks like a better sky. Another option is to use an image. If you use an image, then you have to select a custom image and choose one of the skies you have, any image of a sky that you have. Since this is a presentation, a simple presentation, architectural one, I'll keep it to the gradient. Now, if we switch to the shadows options, you'll see that we have shadows and we also have ambient shadows. Ambient shadows is what happens when indirect light hits your building. So if you click show ambient lights, show ambient shadows, it will increase the light in your image, and it will show these dark edges around your building. To see that better, I'll switch to lighting, which is related to shadows, and I can increase the force of ambient light. You can see ambient light was at 0, so I'm going to increase it up to 50, and now it's increasing the brightness of overall of my image. And I can also decrease the darkness of shadows. If I decrease that maybe to 25, now this looks better. The sun is going to change colors, so if I increase this too much and click apply, you will see that the brighter areas of your building are so much brighter. We don't actually need that, so I'll revert back to the previous settings. One more option to take care of in cameras, you might have an issue with the far clipping. So you will see at the left side that there is a far clip offset with a specific value. If that value is too small, let's say only 2 meters, then you will not see your model at all. And this happens with beginners so many times. You know, if I change it to 20 meters, now I can only see 20 meters of this view.
I'm sorry, where is that exactly?
In the camera options, so in 3D view options, just make sure you press escape twice, so you're not selecting any element. In 3D view, 3D view, yes.
Yes.
And you should see the extent for your 3D view.
I should have it, or is there any option I don't have it at all?
No, you should actually have it. What do you see here? Is it 3D view or something different?
I'm in the 3D view, but I can't find it. Anyway, I will
Okay.
keep going now if
No
I don't
problem.
find it.
Okay, so these extents define exactly how far your camera can see. Since this is a simple model and I don't actually need this clipping, I'm going to disable it completely. So the far clipping active, I'm going to uncheck it, click apply, and now I should see all my buildings. If you have a bigger building, you're going to see it completely. Alright, this is one way to change the visuals for 3Ds. Do you have any questions for cameras or presentation of perspectives before we move on to plans and elevations? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, just ask to go back on the camera and explain more on the camera.
Sure. What is your question?
On the 2D camera, where you just apply.
Yeah, what I just applied is the far clip option.
Yes.
So I just unchecked far clip active.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yes, I'm with you. Yeah.
So was that your question? Did I answer it?
Look, it was on 4 meters when you click on far click.
Yes. Yes. These
Yes.
this offset.
The view was not actually showing all.
Yes, it doesn't show the whole building. Let me show you this in plan view. So you can see that my camera in plan, it's cutting everything up to this level.
Okay, yes.
If I move that plane, this far clip offset changes with it. So this is the far clip option. If I disable it completely, then I don't have a clipping issue. Then my camera sees everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sorry, I just can't find the far clip.
Okay. Maybe at the end of the session, we can you can share your screen, and I'll show you where it is.
Okay.
Okay. I think someone is driving around. Okay. So now we have the cameras. We've checked the cameras. Let's go to one of the plans, entry-level furniture layout. And you can see in this plan that it looks more like a working drawing or a conceptual design, more of a conceptual drawing. It doesn't have any dimensions or nothing interesting to show to a client. So if I want to control this further, I might want to add some color to it, maybe based on room numbers, maybe based on room names. You can see there are room names here in that entry level. So if I want to do that, I want to change the properties of my plan view. At the left side, in properties, I'm going to switch to the color scheme. This is the color scheme, and it says none. Instead of none, I can change the color scheme to rooms, to color rooms, and then maybe color it based on name. And you can see how many colors we have now. Once you have that, if you click OK, then your plan is going to be colorful, like this one. Well, you might not like all the colors that you see right now, or you might want to change how it's being done. So I'll go back to color scheme, click the same, and maybe change it to department or area. Maybe I want to show the areas between this and that with different color. So areas between 80 and 120 is going to show with this pale color. That's another way to do it. And you can actually change each and every color of these if you don't like it. You can color rooms by floor pattern. You can color it by material of ceiling. For any different purpose, you can change the colors in your plan. But what if I don't want to apply this to all my plans? What if I want this for contractors without colors, and I want a copy of that for my client? So my client likes to see it in colors, but contractors don't need those. In that case, I'm going to undo the changes I've done. And instead of applying those changes directly to this plan, I'm going to duplicate this view. So I will right-click this view, duplicate, and I will select duplicate with detailing. So I'll make a copy of that view. Now I have a copy. I can also rename it. I'll right-click, rename, and change it to entry-level presentation. And in this view, I'm going to apply the color scheme of my rooms based on name. If I want to change any of these colors, I can go ahead and start changing them. I like more of lighter colors. It's less distracting, of course. Once this is done, you can see your plan is colored, and you can also add a key, like a legend key. From Annotate tab, select Color Fill, and you will see Color Fill Legend. I can place that beside my plan to indicate each color
Sorry, Mostafa,
and what is
where
the name of
that?
each of those. It's
What is
in
that, please?
Annotate,
Yeah?
Annotate, Color Fill at the right side.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
It doesn't work.
Well, if you haven't done the previous options, it might not work. Or maybe you've opened the furniture layout.
No, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, that's fine, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. So if I have a plan like this and I attempt to add the color fill legend, then there is no coloring scheme. You can see here it says no color scheme assigned to view. But once you click, it will ask you which scheme would you like to apply. And in this case, I'm going to switch back to rooms, name, click OK, and now I have it.
Mr. Mostafa,
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Miss
I
Ala?
did some modification.
Mm-hmm.
If I did some modifications in the main floor plan later on, after I create this
Yeah.
presentation.
This is automatic. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be automatically shown, right?
Yes. So if I shift one of these walls, for example, you can see that it automatically adjusts. And if I change any of the room names, let's say going back to entry level, in the presentation view, just to make it visible, instead of dry storage, I'll call it cold storage. And now you can see that the color automatically changes to something else. Okay, so this is automatic. Also, if I change this scheme to a different scheme, let's say a department scheme. Right now I don't have any departments set. Once I click OK, you'll see that there is no colors defined, because these rooms doesn't have any department. And to set this up, which we explain more in our full course for the Build Your First Project workshop, if I select one of these rooms, I press tab twice to select it. Now I can change the department to something else. Let's say public. And for the electric room, I might change its department to services. So as we've discussed before, Revit and BIM is all about data. So anything that you enter, any information that you add to your model is reflected and presented in your drawings. I'll just switch back to the room name, because this is already full. I could also add the same options. I can put shadows on, but beware, when you add shadows on in a plan view, sometimes you will see that the shadows are flying. Let's try on level 3. So in level 3, if I turn the shadows on, you can see that the shadows seem to be off the plan. It's away from the walls. To change that, you can select the sun settings from this sun icon. Click sun settings, and you will see here there is an option for ground plane at which level, and it indicates that ground plane is at entry level. That's why my shadows seem to be off the plan. If I uncheck this completely, then it will only show shadows inside the plan, and it will show nothing outside. But if I check it back again and change the level to level 3, apply, now I can see the shadows at the correct place.
Sorry, can you show again how I turn on the shadows?
Yes. Shadows, you can turn it on from this icon, shadow on, and then from the sun icon, you can change sun settings, as we've discussed.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. So this is another way of enhancing the presentation of your plans, which you can use to leverage the looks of your plans. You don't actually need to use Photoshop or any other software to present your plans, especially if you're in a rush and you have a lot of work. It's better to make everything automatic inside Revit. No need to take it to another software. Okay, in elevations, let's say in east elevation. Now you can see in the east elevation everything looks the same. All the lines have the same tone. By the way, there is an option here which I have turned off, which is thin lines. I've turned off all the thicknesses of my lines just to make things clearer and easier for drafting. But if you're in a presentation mode, you'll notice that the thickness of each line is different. Especially in plan view, this is very obvious. You can see here that the outline of walls has a thicker line weight than doors, for example. And this is also happening automatically in Revit, which you don't have to adjust. However, if you want to adjust it, in our advanced course, we discuss how to manage Revit settings and how to change the defaults for Revit itself, if you don't like this. But by default, this is happening. You don't have to interfere or do anything. Now, going back to my elevation. This was a reminder to save, by the way. Revit tends to do this. Reminds you every time. Okay. Let's disable annotation. Okay. So in elevation, sometimes I need to show depth. I need to show that this entrance is away from my elevation, and this element is actually closer. If we see this in plan view, you can see that entrance. This is the entrance, the back lounge. So it should look further away from my screen. For that, we have a specific option in graphic display options, which is called the depth queuing. If I click show depth, click apply, now you can see the difference. The further away elements are from my elevation, the lighter weight they have. If I want to change this fading, I need to decrease that fading limit.
Sorry, I can't find the graphic display options. What is that?
Which version do you have?
The graphical display options. Where did you find that?
Well, the graphic display options at the bottom, you can see this box, visual style.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Never
yeah.
mind.
Yeah, thank you.
By the way, depth queuing is not available in previous versions of Revit. I believe it was introduced in 2018. The previous versions did not have this option. So I can adjust how dark or light I need this effect to be, and I can also change the limits of far away elements and near elements.
That's great. So
Yeah.
excited
Yeah.
because I was trying to do it in Photoshop.
Yeah, no need to use Photoshop for this. Also, if I add shadows to my elevation, makes it a little bit better. And if I change the background as well, make it gradient, apply. Now it looks a little bit better. So this is a glimpse of the capabilities of Revit in presenting your work like that. Now going back to, does anyone have a question? Do you have a question before I move on? No. Okay, thank you. One of the most exciting tools that you can use for presentation is exploded views. Have you seen before those exploded views where it shows slabs and columns away from its location with dashed lines? I'm not sure if you've seen that before, but once I show you this, you'll remember it. So if I go to a 3D view, let's say the default 3D view, I'm going to create a copy of that by duplicating the view. I'm going to duplicate. Let's say this is my Oh, have I lost connection? Is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to rename this to exploded view. And I'm going to do a couple of things here. First thing, I need to create a 3D section. So at the left side, I'm going to make sure that the section box is checked. Although the section box is checked, I cannot see where the section box limits are. To show the section box, which is hidden, there is a small icon here to reveal hidden elements. That small bulb.
Sorry, where is that extends again? I'm not sure I can find it.
Maybe it's closed, like this.
Yeah, I found it. Okay.
Yeah, never mind. So I'm going to click reveal hidden elements. And you can see the hidden elements include that section box, which I can use to cut through my building. Let's say I want to show the inside of the stairs, for example. I'm going to push this until it hits the stairs. Now I'm going to turn this option off. I don't need the section box anymore, and now I have this 3D section showing my stairs. And the next step is going to be exploding my building. So I'll start with the top slab. Just select that element, and from modify view, there is a view section inside modify. I'm going to select displace elements, and that creates an option to move that element without actually moving it. So that movement is happening only in this view, in this specific view. Okay? Now, after I've moved my slab this way, I can also select path to show where it should be. This is the actual location of my element. I can also do the same with other elements like stairs. I'm going to select the stair with railings. Displace that element. Maybe move it outside this way. And then show path for the correct location of that element. How do you like that?
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's a cool way to present your project. You know?
How do you show path?
Once you've selected an element like that, let's say
Yes.
this wall or this roof, after displacing it, keep selecting it, and then you will see this option, path. Okay, so this is another way to explain your design to everyone, show them the layers of your building model. And you can pretty much do that for any element. Like this skylight, for example, I can push it up like this and then show these paths to indicate the correct location where it should be.
I have a question.
Sure.
What about if you have like a metal, like different parts? How can you combine like metal panels, right? And little modules, a little. If you have like 20 of them, you combine. You can show extruder view. How can you combine like
I'm not sure I'm following your question. What are the components you mean?
let's say I want to click all the windows in there. Well, they have. I wanna
Okay, you want to select all the windows, for example. Okay, this is simple. Well, if I select one of these windows, of course there is the tedious process of pressing control and selecting one by one. But if you want to select all the windows, for example, you right click and select all instances visible in view or in entire project. So this will select all the windows all together. And then I can displace all of them, let's say displace them to this side, and start creating paths, not so much of them, but just to indicate a few.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Mustafa, can you show again what you did in the beginning? So to create the section, actually, in the 3D view.
Okay, so to create the section, let's do that in a 3D view as well. We can try that in a 3D view like this. In any of your views, at the left side, make sure that you have the extents
Yeah, I found it.
section. Okay. Just check the section box,
Okay.
and it should show this big section box bounding your model. If it's not
No,
shown,
it's not like that.
yeah, if it's not shown, then make sure that you have revealed all the hidden elements through this button. Can you see this small bulb?
Now I see. It became pink.
Yes. By default, the section box is visible, but apparently when they did this model, they have hidden the section box because they don't want it to distract you from the design. But now I can do the same to my building in this view. I can create a 3D section like this.
So what's the difference between displace and remove it?
Okay, well, displace elements works only in a specific view. So if I change the location of that slab, you've seen in our 3D, let me switch back to the 3D view, exploded view. In my exploded view, you can see that my slab is flying in there, but in the camera view, 3D view 1, my slab is still in place. It hasn't moved. So I haven't actually moved it. It's just a way of presenting it in a specific view. Yeah. Welcome. If I don't like the angle of camera in this from this side, let me first hide this section box because it's distracting. I'll right click, hide in view elements. I'm going to hide it. And then I will change my sun settings, and instead of having the light from top right, I'm going to change it to be from top left. I'll click OK, and now this is a better angle of for this camera. I can always go back and change the extents of my view. Yeah, this is it.
Sorry, I have another question.
Sure.
If I want to be specific with the sun location, for example, if we are in London or if we are in Greece, we have completely different angulars of the sun.
Yes,
is there any
of
way
course.
to know where the building is, take the real coordinates of the sun?
Yes, there is a possibility to do this actually, and there is an option here to turn on the sun path on. There is also an option to create a sun study, solar study, which we will see in detail in our course. So you're going to see it in that course. Yes, sure.
So, all right.
Okay.
Is that in the beginner course? I mean, in the first
Yes, it's included.
group?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
By the way, the build your first project package includes building a model like this. So you can actually build a complete building, ceilings, plans, furniture, any elements, and create dimensions, sheets, everything. So it's not a basic package, by the way. The other packages include further detail that not everyone needs. Like not everyone is modeling organic buildings, so not everyone needs to learn how to create massing. But all architects need to know the basic tools that we're using right now. This building has been built with only basic tools. There is nothing special in this.
Are we going to know how we export these or to print them?
Yep, sure. So the next step is going to be combining your views in sheets. We don't usually print directly from views like this. So we need a sheet. To create a sheet, you have to scroll down to the sheets. You can right click and click new sheet. This is one option. Another option would be from view, sheet composition, and you can click sheet, new sheet. Now I'm going to start with an A node metric sheet. I've just created that one, and I can go back to, let's say, the presentation plan I've just created, drag it and drop it into my sheet. Now you can see that it comes automatically with all the shadows and everything that it had, the colors, even the naming of my view. If I want to edit it directly inside this view, let's say I don't like the color fill legend to be in this place, I can double click any of my views, select any element, drag it around. Maybe I want to place it even in that corner. And then double click away from that view to deactivate it. Now I've created my sheet. The beauty of this is when you look here, you'll see the scale is 1:100. This is automatically written. I haven't typed anything. If I go back to my view, select my plan, change it to, let's say, 1:200, Of course, the plan size is going to shrink because it's a smaller scale now, and it will be automatically reflected on the scale in my sheet.
That's very good.
Yep. This is why I like Revit. You know, once you start using Revit, I don't think you're gonna use any other program like 2D CAD or anything like that.
Mustafa, can I ask you something totally different of what you've been explaining?
Sure.
Well, I don't know if what I'm gonna ask you is a silly question, yeah? So sorry before to ask it.
Never mind.
There is any possibility to import the drawings from AutoCAD in 2D and from there start with Revit? Or you have to start a Revit project from zero?
No, definitely you can import it, but it's not going to be the same. Like if I import an AutoCAD file.
Because let's say that obviously I have projects in AutoCAD that saying that I would like to go to pass them to the Revit, but I don't want to have to draw them again.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, I do have a few AutoCAD files. Let me show you in a new project.
I have the same question from Rhino, because I'm using Rhino as well.
Yeah, of course. Revit can take any of these files. So if you go to Insert tab, you'll see that you can link AutoCAD files. You can import them as well. Import CAD, and when you click Import CAD, there is a set of options as well. These are the file types that Revit can understand: DXF, DGN, SAT, SketchUp.
Your drawing in AutoCAD has to be built in everything in blocks, or how can you identify the lines with the
No, whatever it is, you can import anything. You can actually import anything. I'm going to try with this file, for example.
Teach that in the complete course?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But let me quickly show it in this course as well. So once you selected your file, you can select colors if you want to preserve colors, or you want it to be black and white for less distracting view. If you want to keep the colors to understand layers, that is fine as well. You can change the positioning. Sorry. You can change the positioning of your file to manual or automatic, origin to origin or center to center. I usually keep it origin to origin, especially if I'm importing a coordinated file, something that is coordinate sensitive, like a survey file, for example. So I usually keep it origin to origin, and then you place it at whatever level you like. And I'm going to select an option, current view only, because I want this DWG file not to be in 3D. I don't want to see it everywhere. This is only a floor plan, so it has to stay in a floor plan. So I'm going to select current view only, click open, and now it's going to be imported to my file. You can see how many colors we have right now. And it comes like a block, so if you select it, you will see that it's one piece. I'm sorry, Camilla, you have a question? Someone has a question now.
I need to practice that.
Okay, two scale drawings inside. Okay. Okay.
Mustafa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I have a question to you. You exported the file from AutoCAD to the Revit, and now you just when you came close to any line, it became something like a block. So
yes.
We're not able to do any changes on the file?
Yes, unfortunately, because this is a 2D file from AutoCAD, so it's just 2D lines. It has no BIM properties. Let me quickly see the other questions. There was a question of two scale drawings inside. So if I switch to one of my sheets, sorry, let's say in this sheet, this sheet has multiple drawings, and each one has different scale. You see 120, 1 to 20, and 1 to 10. And in that case, Revit automatically shows the scale as indicated. So Revit is smart enough to do this in this case. Yeah, of course, still a program. It's not a magician, but it does lots of things. So after importing such file, I can go back and start tracing it by walls, and you can see that Revit sees that this is a wall, and it understands that there is a center line to it. So I can start tracing it again and creating walls.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to create it from. So you're using the 2D
Yes,
AutoCAD drawing as a template, and then you have to build
Yeah,
here.
if I switch to 3D, you can see that I have only these two lines. Actually, there is a job that you can work to model elements in BIM based on 2D drawings. So this is a job itself. Some people get paid for it. Thank you. About the scale of the cloud title. Scale of the cloud title. Okay. The scale of the cloud title. I'm not sure if I understand this completely. But if you mean the title, this one? Is it this one you mean? Yep. Okay. Well, that scale is part of the families. We can actually change this family. If I edit this, there is an option here. It shows that the title is using this specific family, view title. I can look for that specific family. Let me show you in families, and it's usually in the annotation symbols, and it's going to be a call out. Let me double check the name again. It's view title. Yeah. So this is the view title. I could right click and edit this. This is editing for a family. So I can change the scale of that. I can edit it and change its size from here. Let's say 4 mm instead of this. I should have renamed it and load it back into my project. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can actually change it.
Watch all the tutorial from scratch. Yeah, a lot of information today, so to repeat them on my own.
Yeah, of course. If this is why I like recording as well, because everyone can get back to the information and review it. Thank you so much. Okay, do we have other questions? Okay, I'm sorry if you have a question. LOD, level of development. You're able to specify how articulate. Okay. The type of LOD will depend on. Okay, for LOD is okay. There is a concept of level of development in Revit, and that concept does not only rely on the level of detail in your drawing, but also the level of information that you put into your model, because BIM is 3 words, and the most important one is the middle one, the I, information. So in this model, for example, we have walls that is showing layers with materials. If I want to show this in a lesser detail, I could change this detail level to coarse, and now you'll see only 2 lines for the wall. It's simpler and easier this way. And this is the way we present concepts to clients. They do not see the indication of materials inside the wall. There is no need for that. This is one thing. Another thing is changing the information inside your models. Like this model, if you edit it, you can actually see here how much information you can add. You could add even the manufacturer website. You can add a keynote number. You can add specification number. So many things that you can actually do. Okay, we're running out of time. I'm sorry. So do you have any last questions?
So if we change something in that view, will it automatically change on my sheets where I'm supposed to export the plans?
When you're exporting the plans, so what is your question again for exporting?
That if I change something here in my entry level, for example, it will automatically change in my sheets where I am exporting.
Yes, it will look the same. Yeah, if I change something here, when I export, it's going to be reflected in the new file, but not the previous file. So if you have exported this previously, it will not show.
So I will have to click and drag again my file, my entry level, for example.
What exactly do you want to change? Give me an example.
I want to change the name of the door.
Name of the door.
Yeah, for example.
Yes.
And,
If I change the name.
I print that file for the clients. It will be automatically changed.
Yes, it will automatically change. Of course. And if I change the name of that door in this view, it will change in schedules as well. I can even show that in schedules with the same name. In elevation, it will have the same name. And if I change it once, it will change everywhere.
So it reflected in all my plans and
all views. Yes, all views are connected. Even schedules are connected. So there was a question here about will you record your 3 paid courses for revision? Yes, of course I do that. But the recordings will be sent specifically to those attendees, the paying students, and of course it's up to you if you're going to share it or not. I'd rather you should not share it because there is a copyright as well linked with your payment. I usually post more advanced video tutorials, so you can see here that I have, for example, the modeling of this building, how to create the basic model for this, how to create specific geometry panels in Revit. So if you're interested in more advanced videos for free, it's available on YouTube channel as well, on my YouTube.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you all. Please don't forget the options that we have for the offer. Right now, these are the offers. We're offering the Build Your First Project, and this includes the user interface, deep understanding of Revit elements. So we're going to discuss specifically each element, how to create it and how to modify it, creating complex wall assemblies, the creation and editing of roofs, floors, and ceilings, how to add layers and materials to this, and you will learn how to manipulate curtain wall options, how to create something unique that matches your design, and how to create a better presentation using Revit built-in tools. So we're going to discuss presentation more in depth as well. Dimensions, tags, schedules, and sheets, all that is included. The printing and exporting and importing of any type of file is included. This is going to be a 3 days per week course, and it's going to take 2.5 weeks for 8 complete sessions. Each session is going to be 2 hours plus 1 hour for questions and answers. And right now I'm offering a 40% only for you guys to have this opportunity. When you click buy now, you'll see a link for coupons, which you can add 40% off. This is the code, and if you cannot access it, let me know by email. Also in workshops, you'll see that we have more advanced sessions, and for those who asked, there is advanced sessions only. So if you don't want to attend the whole ultimate level, including everything plus the advanced sessions, if you want to attend only the advanced sessions, this is also available, and this includes massing, creating families and libraries, how to manage your Revit, collaborate with team members working in a group on bigger buildings, and how to present with Lumion for amazing results. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to send you a quick survey. I hope you've liked these sessions, and I hope you've learned a lot and you've enjoyed this as much as I did. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you very much, Mostafa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye, people.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you. See you later.
To the next course. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much, Mustafa.
Thank you.
Mustafa, I just have a small questions.
Sure.
Still, you didn't give us the timing for this course. About from what time to what time?
Yeah, can you email us with the details, please?
Yes, of course. Of course I will. No problem.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
If we use the same time, what do you think? Yeah, Mostafa Sabir, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you. For the timing, I think this timing is good for everyone. If not, we can change it a little, but I'm going to send you a survey for those who participate. I'm going to send you a survey for the timing.
Okay, that's good. Fantastic.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Muhammad.
Thank
Bye.
you.